This is it, folks. This is your last chance to take a breath before the final triple header of the year. 3 more back-to-back weekends before we will know who is crowned the MotoGP World Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Big Bad Bike Show Motorcycle Podcast. My name is Sam McCauley, and joining me this week is Chris Chippy Ballard.
Hello.
Full stop. Oh, hello. There's a full stop after that because it's just me and you this week, Chippy.
It is. Got no Ash. This is the first episode ever we've never had Ash.
He's having withdrawal symptoms. I bet he has. I bet he's sweating back in his house. Now, obviously, I didn't turn up last week.
You had a good reason.
Which you made perfectly clear. Every opportunity you got to throw me under the bus.
Yes, we did.
Oh, Sam's not turned up because he just can't be asked. But I'll go into all that in my catch up.
Yes,
I'm not going to start tit for tat. Ash couldn't make it. Fair enough.
Life gets in the way.
It will progressively get worse as we go on, I'm sure. As we speak, it is approximately 8 o'clock. It is Sunday, the 5th of November. So yes, it's fireworks night.
Oh, it is.
Bonfire night. It is. So if you hear the odd pop and the odd crackle, please forgive us. We're nervous. And you might hear some fireworks as well. Ba-dum. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're listening on YouTube, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way you won't miss a podcast because we know how much you enjoy these. If you're on Spotify or an Apple, you can rate us. You can give us 5 stars. You can leave a little message and tell the world what you think of us. Or the best way to help us grow is just tell somebody. Like, have you ever heard of the motorcycle or the Big Bad Bike Show? It's just 3 dudes, usually 2 now, but it's just 3 dudes who like to talk about motorbikes. And if you would like to get in contact and send us an email, you can get on our Discord, or you can contact us at podcast@bigbadbs.co.uk. Right. Do you want to say what's coming up in the show, Chippy? Obviously, it's not a lot for various reasons.
Yes. So we've got the all-new Who Am I? Predictions for MotoGP in Malaysia, which we kind of did last week. Which was Ash's... I would like to point out this was Ash's decision. Because I said, well, we should do it next week, really, when we got Sam back, and then we can all do it together. But he wanted to do it last week, but we'll just do it again this week.
Yeah, we'll just do it again. I'll steal all his predictions
for
not turning up tonight. Right, so, but before we move on, we're going to go into a little bit of feedback.
Yes.
Do we have any feedback? No, nobody got in contact. But I wasn't there last week, so I made a few notes, all right? And I've got some feedback. Now,
your corrections section.
It's not so much correction as me defending myself a little bit, but I've written notes, right? How many different notes do you think I've written down here?
I imagine you sat through the whole podcast and just made notes on everything.
Well, the first time I just listened to it, okay? I just listened to the podcast. And it was about halfway through the podcast, I thought, I'm going to make notes on this. So I actually listened to the podcast twice. Yes, I'm not sad. I listened to it again this morning and made notes. Anyway, I have 19 separate points.
Oh, no.
19!
And Ash isn't here to help either.
I'll be quick. Right, first and foremost, right, this is the first one. This is at the top of the list because this is the big one, all right? What was going on with the burps? What was going on with the burping?
Well, the thing is, I was supposed to edit them out, but I'm pretty sure they were all Ash. I'm not a pig.
Well, the second one was not Ash because unless Ash is a very, very good ventriloquist, even listening to Spotify, I knew it wasn't Ash. So the first one was actually quite funny. It was before the actual recording. You just put it in there as a little caveat. That one worked. I thought that was quite funny. I heard the burp and I kind of frowned, and then I thought actually that worked. That's quite funny. But then the second one came, and this, as he was about to start talking about MotoGP race or something, the new bird, and the second one was just horrendous. But the second one sullied the first one, and it made the first one just seem even worse.
Well, I'm sorry. I was editing last week.
Yes, you obviously. Well, yeah. me not having any internet is an excuse. Remember whenever I said to you about moving house and you says it's not a competition? Well, it's not a competition, Chippy. Some people's house moves are a little bit more difficult than other people's house moves. We're not all moving into a new build. Some of us have actual DIY to do, and we don't have an Ash to come and do it for us.
Yeah, that's true. I do have an Ash to do all of it for me.
You put the predictions up early. We've already mentioned that.
Yes.
Ash wants a lightsaber and a green dragon dagger.
What a sado.
Who wants that? He thinks like, oh, does there not something you always wanted for Christmas? Money. That's all I ever wanted for Christmas. I would just give me money and I'll go and buy myself like a Nintendo 64 or SNES or, whatever. Buy myself a little like bike or something. I always just get money for Christmas all the time. Here's another one I brought up. Ash is going to pick up a car, right?
Oh yeah, he's picked it up now, hasn't he?
No. I'm not making a joke about this. Well, I'm going to make a little bit of a joke about it, but not at the expense of his grandma who passed away.
Yes.
Like condolences to Ash, his family. But Ash is going to pick up his car, right? That belonged to his grandmother who passed away. And he was telling a lovely story about how it's called Lionel because his grandma used to listen to Lionel Richie on it. And you just shit all over the story. You're like, you can't name cars. Fucking weirdo. His grandma passed away. You can't say that. You can't be saying that.
I didn't even think of that.
You're so horrible. So
do you know what? We went out for dinner this week, me and Ash, and we turned up, and he was like, "Oh, you and Nicola look really nice," and we were just both of us just went, "Yep, cheers." I would never return the favour or anything. And I later that night I was like, "What a horrible thing to say." I didn't even repay the compliment.
I don't even know what this next one means. Why would I put a catch up on a week? Oh yeah, you said I didn't put a catch up in. Why would I? I'm not on the podcast. Why would I put a catch up when I'm not on the pod?
You could still let us know what you're doing. But Ash hasn't done it this week either. But then again, he never puts anything on this doc.
Right. The next point I'm going to make is you are very adamant that there should be music for the news section.
Yes.
And I don't put music in whenever I edit.
Well, you should.
So, but you put music in, and as soon as the music finished, you went, "There is no news this week." I thought, well, then why did you put the music in? What's the music in there for if there's not even any news?
Yes. I didn't realise till after.
I did react to Tommy Bridewell on the chat.
Did you?
But, yeah,
the news. Really yes, sorry, yes.
I shouldn't really repeat to what I said, but we'll talk about it later.
Yes.
Now, this is a big one.
Okay.
You were talking about Jorge Martin possibly winning the championship, which he might, and how he's on a inverted commas satellite bike.
Yes.
And you were saying that, has it ever been done before? Has anybody ever won
on
an inverted commas satellite bike? Now, I'll forgive you for it because you've admitted that you used to watch F1 and you only recently, in the past couple of years, started watching MotoGP. But Ash is a massive Rossi fan. He's like, Valentino Rossi's the best ever. How did he not realise that 2001, his first championship, he wasn't on a factory bike? He wasn't on the factory bike. Yeah. Alex Crevier was on the factory bike. And there was another Japanese rider, I forget his name. Tohuru Okawa was on the factory bike. They were both on the Repsol bike. Now, I think, if you get to the nitty gritty of it, I think Valentino Rossi's bike may have been factory spec. But so's Jorge Martin's. So it's the same sort of situation. But I was a little bit disappointed by Ash being a big Rossi fan. He didn't know that. But there you go. That's a little bit of knowledge for you.
Yes.
And Marc Marquez never managed to do that, even though he might next year.
Yes.
And do you know why you chat GPT'd it and it didn't come up?
No.
Because you asked MotoGP, and it was during
the 500cc. Yes, it was.
Yeah, see, Chat GPT's not that smart.
Well, it is. It was too smart for me.
The next one I made is more for Ash. I'm not going to say it. Chippy, you don't give money to charity because you're tight, not because it can be abused.
No, it can be abused. That's why I don't give money to charity.
That's why I give blood, because money can be abused. You're so tight. That's why you don't give to charity.
I'm not tight. Ash is tight. I don't know why I've got the reputation of being tight.
You are so tight.
I'm really not tight. House.
You try and pretend you're antisocial. You just don't want to spend any money.
I just
You're
hate
very
people.
tight. And apparently you go to bed at 7:30. That's ridiculous. You're like,
well,
to bed now.
7:30 is a bit early. 8 o'clock, 7:30 is when I usually go to bed. So now, really.
You usually go to bed now, but you're setting up just for me.
Yes.
Thanks, mate.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Last week you called the episode Two's Company, Sam's a Crowd. That was just a rehash of an old episode title I had.
Yes.
You didn't even think about it. The episode should have been called Bautista Malteser. That's what it should have been called. I can't remember where it was, but you made the mistake. Somebody said Balteaser, and then they said Bautista Malteser, and I was like, that's the episode title.
Yes. Well, to be fair, this one's got to be called Two's Company, Ashes a Crowd, surely.
That's just rehashing same old episode names. Can we not be a little bit more...
Well, you're in charge of editing this week, because I did it last week.
Yeah, I'll come up with something.
That's my quota done.
I'll probably just call it Two's Company, Ashes a Crowd.
Yeah.
It's a thing now. It's a thing now. That's what it is. Two's Company, Ashes a Crowd, Part 2. It'll be the next time he's not here. Right, this is another one for Ash, but I'm going to bring it up, because he will listen to this.
Yes.
How the fuck has Ash never made Yorkshire puddings? Come on,
I know.
now.
And, he doesn't know how to do them.
Oh, sorry. Let me rephrase that. How has Ash never made a baked pancake? He doesn't know how to do a Yorkshire pudding. It's like the easiest thing in the world to do. It's so easy.
Yes.
It's so easy to make a Yorkshire pudding. It's like, that's why I call it baked pancake. It's slightly different from pancake mix, but it's basically a pancake mix and the oven.
Yes. I must admit, I probably can't make one either, but I can't cook.
Oh, have you never tried to make a baked pancake? Have you never tried to make a Yorkshire pudding?
No.
It's curiosity. You've never cooked? You don't cook?
Actually, I made a salmon stir fry this week, and I'm going to make it again tomorrow.
And you make, apparently, in your own words, you make very good pizzas, which I've seen your pizzas. They look nice on picture. Maybe
they are
taste
incredible.
Foul, but you know, part of eating is eating with your eyes. Nom, 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 nom. Your eyes eating. Imagine you did actually eat with your eyes and it really hurt. Ah!
Yes.
I'd be anorexic. But I should be blind. But anyway, so... Yeah, part of your eating's eating with your eyes. Your pizzas look nice.
Yes.
So if you can make a
tastes
pizza...
amazing.
Try and make a Yorkshire pudding. I guarantee you, if you... Well, Nicola makes your Yorkshire puddings. Am I correct?
So she does.
You don't need to make one, but I guarantee you try to make a Yorkshire pudding, you will be successful. You can't mess it up. It's so easy.
I think I've seen her do it. It's, what is it? Flour, milk, water? Egg. Yes.
Yeah, so it's like a pancake mix is egg, milk, and flour.
And you need a little bit of oil in your little holes.
With pancakes, there's various different, measurements, but it's the same ingredients, just slightly different measurements. Yeah, and what you do is you get like a little cake tin that's got like 12 little cake holders.
Yeah, so we've got one.
And you pour a little bit of oil in each one. And the secret is that your oil needs to be hot before you put the batter into it.
Yes.
So you put the oil in the oven, and then you pull it out and you pour the batter into it just enough to fill the little cake holder thing, and then you just stick it back in the oven for like 6-10 minutes, and they just puff up.
Yes,
it's the same if you're making a toad in a hole.
I was also told you don't open the oven door because if you do that, then it ruins them. That's something that Nicola said.
I think it's something like not exactly the same, but you know them little souffle things they make in MasterChef where they can something like that. I think if you open the door, it lets a lot of heat release out, and they still make Yorkshire puddings. They just don't puff up the same.
Yes,
but I love cooking. I love cooking. Like Ash was saying that he's always had a woman in his life, which was sexist as fuck, by the way, but he's always had a woman in his life to cook. Like, he's never just got up and said to his partner, let me cook tonight. Yeah. Or at least let me try. He's just been, well, women belong in the kitchen. Anyway, you're obviously the same because you've never made any attempt to cook.
No, I'm starting to learn. Actually, I'm starting to enjoy it as well.
I do. Yeah, you should. It's really therapeutic, I think. I do the lion's share of cooking in our house. I do the most of it. Every Sunday I do it. But now this is kind of for my own selfish ends. I like doing Sunday dinner because then I know when it's going to be ready, so I can time the MotoGP and all that around dinner, because I'm in charge of when it comes out.
Well, I just give Nicola the timings.
Yes, but I've got kids as well.
Yeah, so, true.
B, if there's a race on I want to watch, believe it or not, I like to do it whilst I'm cooking, because as soon as I'm in the kitchen cooking, if one of the kids comes in, I politely now, not like this, but I politely just tell them to fuck off. But I do it politely, I don't say fuck off.
Yes.
But, I just say to them, leave me alone, I'm cooking. And, even my wife's like, yeah, Daddy's cooking, leave me alone. And I'm like, haha, I'm actually watching the race whilst I'm doing some other stuff. So, yeah, it's for my own selfish ends, but I love cooking. And if I go to a restaurant and I try something, I really like it, I go home and I'm like, I really want to try and make it. I usually fuck it up, but...
Yes.
You've got to crack a few eggs to make a few omelets, eh? Something like that.
Yes.
But, right, I'm coming close to the end of my feedback. I hope you've
still not got any more?
No, I've got 3 more.
Oh, my God.
Right, so the next one is... I don't hate Arthur.
Right. This is my dog.
It's not that I hate him. It's just that I don't like you that much. So I use Arthur as an opportunity to get at you. And you don't speak very fondly of my cat, so I don't see why I should like your dog.
I just don't like cats in general.
No, I don't mind dogs. It just infuriates me how you parade your dog around social media. Oh, look how cute he is. No, he looks like any other fucking dog. All dogs look the same. It's like when people go, oh, look at my baby. It just looks like a tiny, ugly human. That's what it looks like. And your dog just looks like another dog. He licks his cock. He probably tries to hump his own face. My dog does that. It's hilarious. He sniffs and licks his butt. We all would if we could.
But he's my little boy. You don't like that I baby him. That's what you don't like.
Oh, I hate that. I hate the way you baby him. Like, you sing him lullabies to bed, and you cuddle him in bed. And,
he always comes up for a cuddle.
I've got a genuine question, right? You go to bed and you're cuddling your dog. How long does he lay there?
Oh, he lays there for ages. Right, so I'll lie on my back and I'll say, come on, come up. And he'll put his head on my chest with a paw across, like he's proper cuddling me. The other night he was spooning me in bed. I was turned over and I just felt his paw come over my shoulder and his nose in the back of my head. He was proper spooning. He loves a cuddle. God, he's such a good dog. How long does he lie there for? He lies there ages. He'll lie there all night if he could. But I can't stay in that position. I have to move.
If my dog was that needy, I would be very, very annoyed. Your dog sounds needy. He sounds needy.
The only thing he does that annoys me is he keeps, like, when you're like scratching his stomach, he'll just keep on pawing and scratching you to do it more. That is a bit annoying. But apart from that, he's perfect.
My dog has got this new thing because we've moved house and we're not using the back garden because I've recently had the garden done and I've had new turf laid down. And I don't want him outside digging in it just yet. I want the grass to root in first, so it'll probably be the springtime before we start using the garden proper. So he comes in, usually when it's wet, I'd put him out in the back garden and let him dry off a bit before I bring him in. But he's been coming in and I've been drying him, and then whenever I dry his face, I kind of wrestle with his face a little bit. And he came in the other day and it was dry outside. It was actually this morning, it was dry outside, and we came in and he just stood and looked at me and I was like, what are you looking at? And it infuriates me when he just stands and looks at me. I'm like, what are you looking at, dog? I can't speak, dog. I don't know what you want. And then he just stands there and looks nervous like he's looking at me, and I'm just staring
I'm not
at him.
Surprised.
And then I realised he wanted me to rub his face with a towel. I was like, oh, dog, I'm sorry. So I rubbed his face with a towel a little bit and he was loving it. Yeah, it annoys me when you're just sitting there and the dogs just come walking into the room and they just stare at you. And you're like, what the fuck are you looking at? What are you staring at? Like, you don't know. It's like there's some ghost stand behind you. Oh. Anyway, yes. I don't hate Arthur. I just like to... Well, I don't know what I do. Just like to piss you off a little bit. Because you hate my cat.
I do hate your cat because it eats birds.
Well, it's a fucking cat. That's what cats do. Sorry.
I like to look after the birds. Then it annoys me when you see one killing it for no reason, just to bring it in as a present.
It doesn't bring it in as a present. Like, that's what the people say. They're like, oh, your cat brings you in little presents. It doesn't love you. Mine doesn't bring them in as a present. It fucking eats them. That's what my cat does. We go out that doesn't bring them into the house. It sits in the garden and it munches them. And if you try and take it off it's not very happy. And you're like, okay, you killed it. You ate it. You're the one that's getting the worms, though. You.
God, I hate cats. Anyway,
I'm not a big cat fan, but I love my cat even more now that I know that annoys you.
I liked Ash's cat when it.
So Ash used to live abroad, and he paid. We all lived abroad at one stage, and myself included, I had to pay to get my dog and my cat back to the UK, and Ash had to pay for his dog and his cat, and he didn't even like his cat. He got his cat back, and the first day he got back, it escaped out the front door and ran away, and he paid all that money for nothing.
It was like 650 quid.
Something like that. Ha ha. Insert Nelson Muntz here. Ha ha. Right, you were talking about curry last week, and you were saying, oh, this Indian, what do you call it?
Oh, here we go.
What did you call it? Was the word you were looking for tourist? An Indian tourist come over? Maybe? Was that the word you were looking for?
Possibly, I can't remember. Maybe.
No, I'm not going to go too much into the Indian talk, even though you did use that as an opportunity to try and throw me under the bus again.
Yes. Well, you've advanced knowledge of curries, even though you've only been there once.
Well, I was there once, but it's not like I just turned up and ate a curry and left. I was there for 3 months. I'd like to think and I did about 4 or 5 different cooking lessons. I'd like to think I know more than your average Western white guy when I'm talking about curries. To be honest, I went to India and found a curry I liked and just ate the same curry for like the whole time I was there. Palak paneer, please. That's the cheese Ash was on about. Right, last one.
Yeah.
This keeps coming up. Ash keeps talking about this Instagram. Oh, we bitched that is because we couldn't get access. It was partly because we couldn't get access. But what annoyed me the most was I went on to I'm going to say I. You at the beginning of the podcast you were involved in a lot of stuff, which you later just took your foot off the gas and left me to do it. Cheers for that, by the way. But anyway, I was going to do a lot of effort to put posts out with all the links.
Yes.
Like the link to our Facebook, the link to our Instagram, the link to our YouTube, Spotify. And this is the problem. Ash was taking a screenshot of that.
Oh, yes, I remember.
Instagram. He was taking a screenshot of my post and putting it on Instagram with a load of hashtags. But what good are hashtags? Nobody could click on the links because the links were in the picture, not on the description. That was the problem. That's why we bitched, Ash. Not because we couldn't get onto it, because you were doing it wrong.
Yes.
Right. That's my feedback.
That's your feedback. Well, that is probably the most feedback we've ever had. Is there any actual feedback from anybody else?
No, nobody sends us feedback. That was just me having a bitch because you lunched in at me last week because I wasn't here. And I was like, I'm going to defend myself. That's why I sent a message to Chippy and Ash on WhatsApp. Because we got a WhatsApp chat, and it says, I'm not going to defend myself here. I'm going to defend myself on the podcast.
Yes. That's probably why Ash hasn't turned up, because he couldn't be bothered listening to all that.
Well, I didn't know that was coming.
Yes. Anyway.
Right, feedback or catch up. What have you been up to, mate, after all that?
After all that, well, I've settled into the new house now. We've just got some more things to put up. Again, I'm going to have a little rant at Ash because he's not here to defend himself. We've got loads of stuff upstairs which is still sat up there, which he needs to come round and put up, like the blinds. Nicola's getting a bit antsy now. She wants them up. Pictures on the walls. My shed still waiting to be built. Quite a few things need to go up, but we're waiting for Ash.
Why can you not put blinds up?
I haven't got a drill. And I don't know what I'm doing. I'll make a mess of it. Ash knows what he's doing.
You haven't got a drill?
No.
Go buy a drill.
No, go get a drill. Ash has got a drill. I don't need to buy a drill.
Besides, that's what I mean. You just got Ash to come over and do it. And if I was Ash, I'd be charging you.
I'm surprised he hasn't, to be fair. And I've bought some new feeders, some new bird feeders. They're like top of the range. They are incredible. Most of them have
top of
arrived.
the range? What do you mean top of the range? You could poke a couple of holes in a plastic bottle. The birds don't care. They'll come and eat the nuts regardless.
It looks incredible. Anyway, I'll send you a picture of that once it's up. And I have got into the Christmas spirit because it is now Christmas.
Yes, it is Christmas time.
It is Christmas time.
We're not going to argue on that. I am a very, very Christmas spirit sort of guy.
Yes, me too. Very early.
Yes, as soon as Halloween's over. Actually, right, I'll go into this now. Is that your catch up?
That's my catch up. Yes.
Can I digress?
Yes.
Christmas time starts the moment you can watch Nightmare Before Christmas.
I've never seen that.
Oh, mate, the Tim Burton. Are you a Halloween fan? Do you like Halloween?
Not massively.
Right, I love Halloween. I'm like, Halloween for me is class. You get to dress up, you get to act like a big kid, you get to eat sweets and toffee apples, you get to do loads of stupid, silly stuff that, it's very nostalgic for me because my mum loved Halloween. I love it. But you watch Nightmare Before Christmas, you must have seen the pictures of the little skeleton dude.
Yeah, I know the one.
Right, you know the one I'm on about. Anyway, he tries to steal Christmas, essentially. But it's an actual Halloween movie, but it's more synonymous with Christmas. People watch it more at Christmas time than they do Halloween time.
Right.
But it's an actual Halloween movie. So I say to my kids, well, let's watch Halloween movies. They're like, I want to watch Nightmare Before Christmas. And I'm like, wait, watch at the end of Halloween because it's too Christmassy. Because they're like, but we want to watch Nightmare Before Christmas because it is actually quite good. Yes. I thought it would scare them, but it doesn't. So it gets to like September time and they're watching Nightmare Before Christmas and then they're running around going, Christmas time. And I'm such a big kid. I'm like, fucking yes, Christmas, let's go. Yes.
Yes.
My wife's like, calm down, it's only September. And I always say to her, we should put the Christmas tree up and put bats and stuff on it and cobwebs and it could be an occasions tree and we could make it a Halloween tree. But really, secretly, I'm just thinking, fuck yes, Christmas.
Well, we've made Christmas cookies today and I've decorated them like little Christmas trees and that and snowmen. We've had Christmas music playing. I've got the Christmas candles out, Christmas scents. She won't let me put the tree up until after her birthday, though, which is on the 16th of November. So the 17th is going up.
My tree goes up on the 1st of December. I'm not as much as I would have it up early, but my wife wouldn't let me.
Yes.
So I tried to hold on. I was playing Christmas music in my guitar last night because during Christmas time I like to play my guitar quite a lot. So I got to rehearse my songs. But in the lead up to Christmas, I like to listen to a lot of that, like Frank Sinatra music because it reminds me of that White Christmas song.
Yes.
So I end up listening to a lot of like the Rat Pack and Dean Martin and Bing Crosby and all that. I listen to all that sort of music, but it's not actual Christmas music, but it reminds me of Christmas music.
Yes, I love the Frank Sinatra one. I can't remember what it's called now. Christmas song. It's gonna bug me. Have yourself a merry little... That one, you know the one?
You've got a nice voice, Chippy. You can sing that.
Thanks, man.
Oh, I was enjoying that little line there. I was like, that's Chippy's straight in there. He's got that down.
I forgot that we actually do occasionally have listeners, so I'm kind of hoping everybody's switched off now.
Oh, no, this is a good episode.
No.
We'll be talking about motorbikes, right? So what have I been up to then? I've not been on for about 2 weeks. That is because I have also been moving house. Now, thankfully, I'm no longer in my old house, which is, let me put this in context. It's about 120 miles away from this house. It's a 3-hour trip here and it's a 3-hour trip back. So backwards and forwards it was taking me at least 6 hours. And that's before I load it and unload it. It was a whole day to do one load. How many loads did it take from you to get from your house to your new house? How many loads?
We probably did it in 3 or 4, but it's literally a 5-minute drive.
Yeah, it took me 3 or 4, but it's an 8-hour turnover, so that's like 32 hours. Like it's 2 days worth of work. And then we were renting our house out, and the house was in a state, and we didn't have time to clean it, so we had to pay for a cleaner to come in. But he gave us a date, and we're like, oh, we need to get our stuff in the house, so we had to get everything into our living room. Like, just pile everything up like a game of Jenga, everything into our living room, so the cleaner could come in and clean the house whilst we were still moving back and forward. And then I had Sky ordered to bring me internet. This was the biggest problem. I had Sky ordered to bring me internet, and some dude turned up late, he did some stuff, and then he comes back like half an hour later, and he's like, "Oh, they didn't, because they're supposed to turn a box on in your area."
Oh yes.
He's like, "Oh, they turned a box on 3.5 miles away, mate. So it's going to take at least 48 hours before we can sort this out." There he is. Arthur's on screen. So he's like, "It's going to take 40 hours." I was like, 40 hours, mate. I go, "So that's going to get sorted in 40 hours." And he goes, "No, it'll be 40 hours before we can, I'll highlight the problem. It'll get to the desk, blah, blah, blah. So it'll be 40 hours before we even move forward." And I was like, "No,
God,
absolutely not." So, long story short, I've got Virgin. There we go. Bada boom, bada bing. Bada boom, bada bing. You get to where you gotta be. Hey, the bagel. I'm from New York.
Well, we had to. All we had to do was move our box over, and they said it would just be activated on the morning of like Friday morning, and it was done. That's all we had to do. That was
to be honest, I kind of wanted to go with Virgin anyway, because I'm getting a better deal. I'm getting my internet is literally, honestly, it's about 10. Like, I'm not even joking. It's 10 times faster than what it was before. I was getting like 12.
Yes.
12 megabytes per second of download speed. That's what I was getting. Whereas now I'm getting minimum 120, and I did a check the other day and I was getting like 230 or something. I was like, this is incredible.
That's really good.
So I'm glad that happened, because I'm now with Virgin, and that's good.
Yes. Shout out to Virgin there.
Yes, Virgin Media, thank you very much. But my house is in a bit of a state. It's in a state. Now, let me put it into perspective what my house is like. Have you ever watched Homes Under the Hammer?
Yes.
Whenever Martin Roberts is the piano guy. "So what do you want to do with this property?" Bing, bing. The piano guy. Have you ever seen that on YouTube where he does the piano thing? Yeah. So what made you want to buy this property? And he does the piano thing, the piano keys. A good one on YouTube. Type in Martin Roberts YouTube piano. Anybody that's listening, and you see the video, it's hilarious. Dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. But just imagine Martin Roberts walking into this house and going, like, just highlighting all the shit bits and how it needs to be sorted out. That's the way I walked into this house. So I've been.
So you're like the before at the minute.
Yeah. Well, I've done a bit of DIY. We had a bathroom was leaking. I've sorted that out myself. Should I add? Done it myself.
Well done.
Not get some. Like, I've been watching YouTube videos, and I've literally lived in Wix for the past week, back and forward, spending a fortune in there, and I've done some plumbing work for my washing machine. I've decorated my girls' bedroom, because first and foremost I've got to get my girls, because at the minute it's still just me living in the house. They're living in at my in-laws, which is a pain in the ass.
How far away is that?
Anyway. Well, it's only about half an hour up the road. It's not too bad. It's all motorway, so or mostly motorway. No, the past couple of weeks have been really, really shit, but in a good way, because it's moving forward to where we more want to be.
Yes.
But that is really why I couldn't record last week, because I was just going through that.
Yes.
Why are we here? Why are we recording again? Have we got something else to talk about?
Yes, I mean, we have been recording now for, how long is it? 33 minutes.
33 minutes.
And we are actually a motorbike podcast.
Yes, we are actually a motorbike podcast, but there was no racing this weekend. And so there's not really much to talk about. But there is the next race to look forward to, and we can talk a little bit about the bikes.
Yes.
Nobody listens to us for the bikes anyway.
No, they don't.
As soon as we start talking about the bikes, everybody hangs up. Stops listening.
Yes. My dad said that.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, a friend of mine said it when I was at Armoy Road Race. He was like, as soon as you start talking about the bikes, stop listening, because, well, they know all that stuff. They listen to an actual decent podcast if they know bike stuff. It's like, why would I read somebody's rant on Facebook when I can read the actual BBC News or Sky News or CNN News or whatever news you want to listen to? People will be going, "Oh, he's right wing, left wing." I've no idea what wing. All I know is the bird can't fly without both wings. Yes. Take the right wing away, the left wing crashes. Take the left wing away, the right wing crashes. Have no wings at all, and it's a penguin. They're there, so...
Penguins have
I'm a penguin. Yes, but they don't use them.
No, they kind of use them more as
arms.
do.
They swim with them. Do penguins use their wings? I don't know.
No, I don't know either.
I don't know. Right, who am I? Last week was yours.
Yes, it was mine. So I thought it was a bit of an obvious one, really, when I look back on it. So I was born in 1990 in Britain. I have won the Suzuka 8 Hours race 3 times, and I have won the BSB Championship in 2013. Now, Ash didn't get this. I thought Ash would have got this. But it was Alex Lowe's.
Yes, I got that one pretty quick, to be honest. I was listening to it and I was like, I wasn't 100% sure in every fact, but I was like 1990, it makes him 33. You said the 2013 BSB Championship. Going back in my brain, going back in my head, if I had to like pick a number out, I would have said 2014.
Yes,
but it's a bit like it gets a bit like what is it? What's that music competition called on Radio 2? Used to be there. Popmaster.
Yes.
The 1 year out t-shirt. 2014. Unlucky. Yeah, you're useless. It's not Popmaster anymore. It's 10 to the top.
Is it? I haven't listened to Radio 2 in ages.
Popmaster's on TV in Channel 4, mate.
Is it?
Got 10 to the... Yes, they're on there.
Ah.
Now they've got 10 to the top, which is also very good and becoming a favourite of mine. As a professional driver,
yes,
I end up listening to Radio 2 quite a lot. I don't know, because I'm sad. Right, it's my turn. This is a motorbike podcast.
Yes.
This week we don't really have many motorbikes to talk about. Right, it's my turn this week to do the Who Am I. I like how you tried to make yours just a little bit more difficult by saying, I was born in Britain. Rather than just being like, I'm actually from England. That made it so much harder. Right. My Who Am I?
yes.
I was the first Spaniard to win a 500cc Grand Prix race in 1992. So there's been loads of Spanish since him.
Yes.
Mark Marquez being probably the most amazing one. Second, he was a lot of first, this guy. I was the first Spaniard to win a 500cc championship in 1999. So he blazed the way for Spanish riders, this guy.
Yes.
And I retired at the end of 2001 season, having won 2 world championships.
The name's not coming to me, but I should know it. 1999.
1999 500cc world champion. Right.
I'll know the name. I'll probably end up Googling it, but yeah, when I see it, I'll probably...
As soon as you Google it, you'll be like, I know who that is. But I'll be honest, it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. Spaniard, yes.
Yes.
I can tell you what bike you read on, but it would just give it away.
Yeah, no, because it's only allowed 3 clues.
If you know the answer to that, and you're still listening to this podcast, if you know the answer, send us an email at podcast@bigbadbs.co.uk. Or if you're on our Discord, just put it on our general chat. Just be like, this is who I think the Who Am I is. I know everybody else can see it, but you'll probably be the only person, Ryan, who will actually answer it. So, cheers, mate. Feel free to do that. Right. Will we crack on with some news?
Yes. Insert jingle here. Right. Richard Cooper's victory in the 2 Super Twin races at the 2022 Northwest 200 have been reinstated after an 18-month appeal process. Richard Cooper had initially been disqualified due to a protest regarding a bracket on his Kawasaki bike. The Motorcycle Union of Ireland Ulster Centre stated that lap and race records was also being reinstated, and Cooper's successful appeals have brought his total victories to 4 at the 2022 Northwest 200. Which is good news, because it annoys me when somebody gets disqualified on something so minor. Like, I can understand... So trivial. Yeah, but you know, the other day I was saying about Dan Linfoot, his bike,
yes.
he might be getting disqualified.
Something with the brakes, yeah.
Brakes are quite a big thing. Like, I can understand getting disqualified for having superior brakes, but a little bracket on a motorbike, how much difference is that really going to make? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm glad that's.
I seen that on social media. I'll be honest, I didn't read much more than what you've just said there. But who was given the win? Who did win it in 2022 because it was taken away from him?
Bear with me.
Because I wonder how they feel about it now. They're probably thinking, "Oh, that sucks. I'm going to put the bracket in my bike next time." That's right. And we hear it with Dan Limfoot. That's who it was.
I've got it here. Let me just read the.
Stuff like this happens quite a lot.
Pierre YVES.
His name's YVES.
Pierre YVES Bian of France. And Republic of Ireland rider Joe Loughlin. Is that how you say it?
Joe Loughlin. Yeah, that sounds about right. Joe Loughlin.
Yeah.
All right. It happens quite a lot in athletics. It's been happening more and more recently, where somebody will be reinstated, or not reinstated, but they'll find out that somebody that got silver has now been upgraded to bronze because the person, somebody that's got silver and they'll be upgraded to gold because the person that got gold has now been found to be part of a doping scandal from like 18 months ago.
Doping's rife in that sport.
Oh, yeah. Now, I like athletics, so I don't want to just shake my head and go, "Oh, yeah, it is." But it probably is.
Yes.
It's like, whenever everybody was like, "Oh, Lance Armstrong's taking all them drugs." Lance Armstrong, I'm pretty sure himself, came out and goes, "Well, we all are." Everybody is. I'm not doing anything that anybody else hasn't done. And I've had cancer, so fuck off. I'm all in Lance Armstrong's side. I'm like, everybody's on drugs. Like, you watched that, you read that book. Who was that dude that's been, Higgins, what's his name? Bradley Wiggins, is that?
Oh, yes.
Bradley, he had some sort of scandal because he is asthmatic or something, so he's allowed to take these. It's like almost like an injection or something that gives them adrenaline to help with these asthma. But he just so happens to take them at a convenient time that makes him go faster on the bike.
Yes.
And there was even an appeal, they were trying to get him disqualified, and he had to fight his case to say, "No, I'm riding my bike, I feel asthmatic, I don't know if it's an injection or what it is, but I need that, inverted commas, medication." And it's like, oh, convenient, isn't it? It's just convenient. But, so, yeah, in one way or another, like Mo Farah, there's speculation about him, whether he was in drugs or not, or whether he was doing the blood doping. Whenever you go in the altitude or something and you run and you take blood out of your body. Now, I'm talking about stuff I don't have a clue about. It's all speculation, but yes, I think athletics and cycling and a lot of that and weightlifting and all, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying it is, I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if drugs is rife.
Yes.
Andre Iannone would sit that. That's where he should be. He should be in athletics. He can take all the drugs he wants.
Yes. Oh, I can't wait for him to come back.
It does. Have you seen his new helmet that he's got?
Yes.
One of our listeners shared it on our Discord. He shared Manze had a picture of like a red hand on his helmet. It was like Wilson. A picture of Wilson. He said
Remy
this
Gardner.
Was the best helmet.
Yes.
Was it Remy Gardner? Was that it? And then he shared another one that said "I'm back," and it's got the I and the A in yellow.
Yes.
So it's like Iannone. I think that's a bit tenuous, to be honest. A little clutching at straws, Andrea Iannone at that one. But anyway, it does look like a bit of a fuck you to the whole umbrella organisation of motorcycle racing. Is like, so what? Took a few drugs, that's right.
Yes.
We'll talk about that in a bit.
Yes.
Testing now.
Going on to confirm rides. Taz McKenzie, although we already knew this because I think it's part of his contract, but he's now been officially announced for the MIE Honda Superbike in World Superbikes next year, along with Adam Norridin, who is also getting promoted from Supersport, replacing Hafiz Shahin and Eric Granado. I don't know where they're going or what they're doing, but they're not in that team for next year.
Yeah, it's good for Taz McKenzie to be announced in Superbikes.
Yes, he should have been on a Superbike anyway.
Would you rather him going to Superbike like he is, or would you rather him be in Supersport on a better team?
if
obviously you'd rather be in superbike in a better team, but that's not an option on the table. But
yeah, so it's basically finished mid-pack in World Superbikes or have a chance of winning World Supersport. I'd probably go for a better team in World Supersport.
Yeah, because then if you win World Supersports or even just do well, you're potentially going to get a better bike in World Superbikes.
Yes.
Because the team he's in, they're not, unless the World Superbike potential is a lot better, but they're not exactly the all singing, all dancing. Like, he managed to win a race, but that was very much what you'd call a conditions win. Like,
yes.
He took his opportunity when it was there.
Yes.
Even the team, like, was it the team owner, the team manager? The lady's name.
Girl, yes.
Even she was like, Jesus. She was like, whoa, we won a race. Holy shit.
And the thing is, even the factory Honda isn't great in World Superbikes. They're not even on the factory Honda. I don't know what sort of spec it is, but it's not going to be great.
Honda hasn't been good in superbikes for decades.
Yes.
Like, even going back to Johnny Ray, whenever he was in the Fireblade in the early 2010, 11, 12, whatever it was. Like, he managed to win a race here and there, I think, but he couldn't really do anything with it. And this is a guy that went on to win 6 championships on the Kawasaki, so I think you can safely say it wasn't the rider, it was definitely the bike.
Yes.
Why would anybody want to go to Honda?
I don't know. Unless they're desperate. Just one confirmed champion. Just one confirmed championship. I cannot say this guy's name, so apologies if I get it wrong. Maximo Quiles?
Quiles. I think it's Quiles. I think the QUI in Spanish comes across as key.
Oh yeah, it does, doesn't it? Quiles. Not qui.
Quiles.
Yes.
Quiles.
Maximo Quiles. Whatever his name is.
Anyway.
He's a 2023 European Talent Cup champion, and it's the second time he's won it in that class. He claimed it as a rookie in 2021, but this is the reason I've highlighted it, really, is he's the first client of the Marc Marquez's management company.
Was he riding in the Aspar team?
Don't know.
I'm pretty sure I've seen this today. It flashed up on one of my social medias. I think it was for the Aspar Junior team or something like that. So what was that about Marc Marquez, the Marc Marquez Academy?
Well, I think it's his management company, which I don't know if he does it with his brother, or I don't really know what they do, whether it's like a sort of mini VR46 thing at the minute. But that could be quite... I mean, he's obviously a good rider to win that twice. He must have some potential. So maybe
he's a good rider to win it twice, but I think the problem is he's too young to move up.
Yeah, that probably is the case. But
because
I was just going to say, was that the one that Evan Belford and all that was in? Because I think they took part this weekend in that thing. I might be wrong.
They did go. I don't know if it was that one. That's a European Cup. That's a European Talent Cup. Was that the one they went into?
I don't know what they went into. Should have probably researched this. This is why we're not a factual podcast.
But Evan Belford did go into, but they're not going in there to compete. They're just going in there. Well, they are obviously going to compete, but they're just going in there to take part.
Yes.
Before the end of the season, and they hope to maybe get a ride for next season. Some of them maybe are staying in there next season.
I think some are moving up. Is Evan Belford going Red Bull Rookies, maybe? I can't remember.
I can't imagine at this stage of the season there's many championships still running, really.
No, I can't imagine.
So it probably was that. If it was that, folks, and you're listening, you can let us know. We'll Google it.
Yes.
We're going to Google it. Just not right now because we're recording and we have to do an edit, and I can't be bothered doing an edit. So right now we're just going to have to keep looking stupid. We don't know these things. We should know.
We should know. And I should have really found out more about it before I just spouted about it. But you know.
Yes. But I did Google. I Googled Martin Roberts tonight to make sure I knew who the piano guy was. I didn't do any motorbike research.
Yes. And I've put silly season here again. And I just wanted to ask you what you made of the rumour of Tommy Bridewell going to Honda UK.
Yeah. It's
a bit of a shock.
That's a bit of a shock because like you mentioned last week, he's the champion. He's the champion. He's on a Ducati. You would think that PBM would want to keep the champion. You think they would want to run the number one.
Yes.
And it does kind of bring in that speculation as, was there some sort of falling out? Or, like you said, that Jordan Baird took them both and then gave them both a Rollickin, which they both deserved. Yes. I would argue Tommy Bridewell a little bit more than Glenn Irwin.
I would also agree.
I'll hold my hands up and say I'm biased to that because I was a Glenn Irwin fan, but no smoke without fire, eh? So
no.
Yes, they both needed a Rollickin. Whenever Glenn Irwin said earlier in the season, we know who the people and we know who the people what. Was there anything there? Like, was there actual some behind the scenes where there's something going on between Tommy Bridewell and the team? Well, I don't know.
I think possibly.
To try and take away the whole speculation of a falling out. Now, I'm just spitballing here. I am just trying to come up with another scenario that doesn't involve a falling out or anything untoward. A few weeks ago, I'm going back maybe 6 weeks ago or so. I can't mind what superbike race it was. It was obviously somewhere in Europe because World Superbikes doesn't go anywhere else other than Europe or Australia. They fly. Yes. It's a European Cup that flies away to Australia once a year. What a load of shit. Anyway, I'll come back to that. But a few rounds ago, Tommy Bridewell was in. He was seen in the paddock and they talked to him, and he even said himself he was doing a bit of sniffing around. Maybe for a potential World Superbike seat. Now he's 38, so I don't think he's going in there with the intention to really. But he might want to go in there and finish his career in World Superbikes just so he can say, I was British Superbike champion. I had a year or two in World Superbikes. You know, just that to kind of put the icing on the cake, the cherry on top. Now, you look at World Superbikes and you see the potential on the Ducati. Is there much potential there? They got Danilo Petrucci, they got Bautista, they got Balega. You know, they've got riders literally fighting over the bikes in MotoGP who could go to World Superbikes. My point is, there's maybe not the opportunity to step into a ride in World Superbikes with a Ducati. Whereas, and the Honda, like we've already mentioned, the Honda in World Superbikes isn't great. So its retention of riders maybe isn't powerfully good.
Yes.
So there's maybe an easier opportunity to step from British Superbikes to World Superbikes and the Honda than there is with the Ducati. And maybe that's what he's thinking. Possibly. I'm clutching at straws there. Personally, I think PBM Ducati are like, fucking idiot. And he's went, well, fuck you, I'm the champion. And they've had a falling out.
Possibly.
That's what I think.
Yes.
But he'll do nothing on the Honda.
No, he won't. Well, I think he'll still be near the front, but I don't think he'll.
I won't say he'd do nothing. He will be competitive, but he won't be.
He won't be the champion.
He might be one of them lower ends of the. You know when you get people in the showdown, it's like, oh, he's still in with a chance, and it's like, yes, if everybody crashes every race from now until the end of the year, maybe, and he wins everything, maybe.
Yes,
but. I can't see much happening.
No,
if he's made that choice by himself,
I
think it's a mistake. So I think something's happened behind the scenes.
Yes,
but I think PBM are probably thinking after the year they've had, they're probably feeling safe enough that if you hadn't won it, Glenn Irwin would have. So we've still got a very strong championship contender.
Yes, no, I agree with that. So the only other silly season I've got this week is rumours of Fermin Aldeguer being offered a Repsol Honda ride for 2024 and 25.
I seen that as well.
So I heard earlier in the season he was lined up for a move to Yamaha before they announced Alex Rins.
Well, I was thinking about next year about who I would pick for my Moto2, because obviously there's various Moto2 riders moving up into MotoGP, and I was thinking, who would I pick for my Moto2 championship contender? And I was thinking Fermin Aldeguer, because he's a decent rider. I think he's coming into his own now.
Yeah, he's still quite young.
Yeah, and I think catapult that to next year. He's had a good year. I think he could be a contender next year for Moto2. But obviously, Honda are maybe looking at that and thinking, do we really want GD and Antonio when we could have... But I honestly, well, that's a different topic, but I still think Gigi Antonio is a decent rider and deserves a chance. But yeah, for Miguel de Guerre, I don't think he's done enough in Moto2 to justify walking straight into a factory team just yet.
No.
I know it's factory Honda who are struggling, but it's still a factory team. I think that's smoke and mirrors, that, I think.
Yes.
I think that's a way to take... I don't know. I don't know who's doing it, but I don't think there's... I don't see it happening. I think it's just, like I say, smoke and mirrors to try and deflect from something. Yes. Probably just try and take away from the fact that DJ Antonio's going there.
Yes. I didn't actually... I normally come on here before we start recording and check to see if there's any last minute news. And I didn't do it.
I've got one. I've got one. It's not last minute news. It's just something I've seen. As you were talking about Richard Cooper and his 2002 Northwest victory, have you seen the posts on social media about the Irish road racing and the deal with insurance for next year?
I saw something about it.
Yeah. So now I'm paraphrasing a lot of this, and again, I haven't gone into great detail in reading it. I just read the post-its in front of me. But apparently they've been offered a deal of approximately £2 million. But what are they called? The MCUI.
Yes.
I think it's them, have basically come out and said that £2 million, as much as it's an offer, it's not enough. They think it's closer. They need closer to about £6 million.
Right. Oh God, I haven't got this situation again with insurance problems.
I think it's going to be the same, exactly the same. Now, Northwest has already come out and said about what they're doing next year, so I think Northwest's safe. I think they're completely separate. But I think this is going to be a year in, year out thing now.
Because we were lucky... we were lucky this year that some guy stepped up with and said he basically said he'd pay for it, didn't he?
Yeah, but what we need is... oligarchs. We need like some rich, not Russian obviously because nobody likes them, but we need like some rich Saudi Arabian. Yeah, we don't want a Russian because they do horrible things to people. So we'll have a Saudi Arabian come because they don't do horrible things to people. Anyway, so let's have their money. Oh yeah, burn the gays. It's fine. Give us your money. Yeah. So let's have the nasty people that we like give us money. Yes. Anyway, I'm being facetious. I'm being flippant. But that's what we need. We need a rich investor to come over. But then the problem is, and it's something that we like to tiptoe around, road racing's dangerous. Road racing is dangerous. And you the reason the insurance is so expensive is because somebody might lose their life. And it's quite likely throughout the course of a season that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's not something we like to talk about. It's something, like I say, we like to tiptoe around, but it's very real that it might happen. And who wants to be the investor that pays for that?
Yes. No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
But the thing is, and I've always stood by this, there's a lot of really people out there, and there's a lot of crazy people who like to go fast. And road racing, it's not just the opportunity for people to actually be competitive and race and win races. Like if I was to go to like a clubman race in Northern Ireland in the short circuits, Ackadue, Nuts Corner, Bishop's Court, whatever, I can get a racing license, but even without an actual bike license, I get a racing license. And I think as long as I do 6, this is the way it used to be, it's maybe changed now, but as long as I do 6 short circuit races, I can then qualify to do road racing.
Yes.
And if I like to go fast, and I'm a really petrol head who likes to go fast on a motorbike, I've got my opportunity. I can go as fast as I like, in the same direction that every other bike's going, knowing that I've got a free road. I'm not out to win the race. I've paid my money because I want the experience and I want the thrill.
Yeah.
Now, if you're desperate enough for that, you're going to forget about the fact whether there's an open road, a closed road. You just want that thrill. You'll be doing it on the motorway, on an open road, with not pedestrians, but civilians. Yeah. And the police will be there, and people will do it. So I'm not saying road racing is, in some way the savior of people because it gives them the opportunity. But I go back to an interview I heard with Philip McCallum before he started road racing, who was an amazing road racer, and he said that he used to ride around the roads thinking he was Jordan Lopp, and then one day I think he had a scare and he realised, I'm going to kill myself if I do this. So that's why he started road racing, because he knew at least everybody's going in the same direction.
Yeah,
there's no cars coming, so I think road racing helps in a way.
Because it does. It's like these drug centres. I heard the other week, I know this is like completely different, but there was like
I love a digress. Go for it.
There was like these drug centres being set up so drug addicts can go to these places and have somewhere safe to inject or do whatever they're doing in a safe environment where they've got like medics and stuff and they're not going to hurt themselves. Because they know they're going to do it anyway. They may as well try and give them somewhere safe to do it. And while they're there, maybe try and give them some help as well if they want it. But yeah, it's... I know it's completely digressing, but...
It's not digress. It's the same thing. Look, the fact of the matter is...
They're going to do it.
I stand by this. I stand by this. These three words. I stand by this. Prohibition doesn't work. It doesn't work with anything. You can't stop people taking drugs. You can't stop people drinking alcohol. You can't stop people going out and being really in motorbikes. Just you can't stop people going out and being really in cars. You can't stop it. So the best way to do is to make it as safe as possible for them to do it.
Yes.
Oh, I could do a whole episode about why I'm not pro drug. I'm just so anti the way they treat drug addicts.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you can't smoke marijuana because it's bad for you, but you can go downtown and make a bottle of vodka. It doesn't make any sense. It's like that video. It makes no fucking sense. It just makes no sense. It makes none whatsoever. But yeah, so. Yeah. So I think if you don't provide an opportunity for young men and women to go fast, they're going to do it anyway in unsafe conditions. So
yes.
Anyway, that's completely
just
off,
another little
topic,
point as well. Just something you touched on earlier about getting a rich Arab in. Why do they always go into football? Like, do something.
Because there's money in football.
Just come into motorbikes. You could buy circuits. You could buy the biggest teams, the best teams. You could. The best riders.
Yes, but
you can have something so special.
They do that. They just don't do it in motorbikes. They do it in Formula One. I think they're all involved in Formula One. Anyway, we've got a race. We've got a race in Qatar. They go to Qatar.
Well, yeah, true. Just fun British superbikes. Chuck like 100 million into that. Everybody can ride for free. That'd be so good.
It would be.
Anyway,
it would be. No, right. We finished with silly seasons. I've got another point to talk to you about. Right.
Oh, no.
No, this is just... I was going to talk about British superbikes. Right. So we've pretty much talked about everything we got to talk about apart from looking forward to next week or the next race. So, right. I'm going to talk about British superbikes here briefly. You always say you like British superbikes because it's lads and dads.
Yes.
And everybody's got a chance.
Yes.
But that's bullshit. They don't have a chance. They have no chance. The big teams are always going to win. The big teams will always win the championship.
Well, I suppose when you've got, say in like the British Talent Cup, there's a few sort of privateers in there, and then you've got like the Vision Track Academy and what's the other one, Relives, Cresswell, whatever they're called. They are going to end up winning. But if you can make a name for yourself as a privateer, finishing maybe the top privateer or whatever, then you'll get signed up and then... So yeah, I suppose
I know that.
Not every... Yeah.
But the way I was thinking about it is, because British superbikes, because they don't like to go to too many tracks, they like to just regurgitate the same tracks.
Yes.
You know? They go to one... They basically do a little circuit, and then they do all the circuits again. Yes. Apart from Knock Hill, because it's a car park, they only want to go there once. But anyway, so the way I was thinking was... Like all the lads and dads that you talk about, I don't know how much info they're getting. They haven't got the expensive computers and stuff, and all the info. Whereas all the big teams, they go round, and if they have a bad round at Brands Hatch the first time, they get all the info and all the information. Then they go the second time, they're like, well, we know exactly what to do to the bike because we got all the details from the last time we were here.
Yes.
Hence, they're going to win.
Yes, they will win. Yeah. But I like the idea of lads and dads going, it's like a second-hand bike, it's all they could really afford. It's a bit smashed up. It's held together with duct tape, and they're going out and trying to.
I like that too. It's a real, yeah. It's a real sort of Spartacus versus the Roman Empire.
Yes,
anybody can, like, on the day, anybody can win. A David versus Goliath for a more biblical one.
Yes,
because I like to say Spartacus against the Roman Empire because it's actually true. So I like to use that one. Anyway, now you keep saying British Superbikes is the best.
It is the best. It's the best championship.
It's very good. Very good.
Yeah, it is extremely good.
And you like to talk about how close it was and how tight it is, even though that's all manipulated by, it's all manipulated by the showdown and, we'll give you so many points for this and blah blah blah, and again that just helps the big teams, because if they have a bad time at the start of the season, they go back to all the tracks the second time round and they've got all the information and they're getting more points.
Yeah, but everybody's got more information.
The point I was going to make is, we're about to look forward to the final triple hit. I can't say this.
I noticed you struggled in the intro.
I stuttered on it. The final... There's too many L's and R's in it. The final triple header... That's a mouthful, that. Final triple header. Right, we're heading into that.
Yes.
And we've got 6 races, 3 feature races, 3 sprints. It's really tight. We've got 2... I know Bezzecchi's there, but it's not really. We've got 2 Ducati riders who are, at the minute, 13 points apart. And there's... Never go to the same track twice. There's been, 20... There will have been, by the time we finish this year... Really, actually, beard. By the time we finish this year, we'll have, 20, 21, 22 rounds?
Yeah,
going all around the world. All around the world. And it's 13 points, man. Tell me that's not exciting.
It is very exciting, but British Superbikes is better.
No, it's bigger, it's better. Not only is it bigger, it's better. It's just as tight. Come on. It's
just because it's bigger, it doesn't make it better.
But it's... look, if you were trying to be like, so it's bigger and it's like World Superbikes, you think World Superbikes was crap this year.
Yeah.
But the MotoGP goes all around the world. Take note, World Superbikes. MotoGP goes all around the world. All these different countries, all these different continents, all these different rounds. Race after race, sprint race, feature race. They've not had a consecutive champion since 2019. 2019.
Yes.
Marc Marquez won it. And then, Joan Mir won it after that? No, Joan Mir. And then Fabio Quartararo.
Yes,
and then Bagnaia. And if Martin wins, that'll be the 5th champion in the world. 5 years in a row. That's down to 13 points. And you're telling me it's not the most exciting racing in the world?
It's not the most exciting. It is very exciting.
The only reason you like British Superbikes more is, first and foremost, we can accessibly go to one of the rounds, which is amazing. That's incredible. That is good. You can't do that with MotoGP unless you're rich.
Yes.
Or it's the British round. Even going to the French round costs a lot of money, or the German round, or the Dutch round. But British Superbikes, we can just go to one of the races.
Yes.
And some of the, well, not just you, but you know them much better than I do. But you know a team. You know people in the paddock. That's why you think it's more exciting.
It's more accessible.
Yes.
Yes.
But I'm talking about... you're too much with your heart, man.
And then, you can walk into Asda and see Dean Harrison in there. Like we did at Knockhill.
You could maybe walk into Asda and see Jorge Martin. He might...
Getting a meal deal.
Imagine, you're at Silverstone, you think, I'm just going to pop to the local supermarket to pick myself up some supplies for the weekend. You walk in there, and there they are. There's... Firmino Aldeguer's there. I don't know why I picked him out, but there's Jorge Martin. Marc Marquez is there.
Yeah,
they're all if you've ever walked into a Tesco's, I'm going to shop at Tesco's or maybe Sainsbury's. I'm not going to Aldi.
No, I don't like Aldi or Lidl. Not a peasant.
I need to wash myself when I come out. Actually, I'll be honest. I've got a bottle of wine called Sacred Hill, which I did get from Lidl because there's a Lidl next door. Oh, they do exceptional wine. That really plug Lidl for their wine. It's nice, really nice wine. So I do go on to Lidl. I was being facetious, but yeah, you go on to Tesco's, and upstairs in Tesco's, there's like sometimes there's a greasy spoon. You know the way sometimes you walk into your local supermarket, there's like a greasy spoon upstairs.
Yeah,
they're all up there. They're up there eating like smashed avocado and poached eggs. I can't imagine Mark Marquez and the likes eating like a greasy fry up.
No. It's disgusting in them places. We had to go there when we was moving house because we didn't have any breakfast stuff. And we had to go. Horrible. It was the cutlery was so dirty, and I was just looking at this bloke, like this builder, and he was just minging. I was like, this fork has been in somebody like that, his mouth, and I couldn't really eat. It was disgusting, and the beans tasted like fish.
God, you're such a recluse, though. You hate stuff like that.
Yes, I do.
You're such a snob.
I'm not a snob. I just like to be clean.
A snob. What was it I did the other day, and you were like, "Oh my god," and I was like, "You're such a snob." That's why I can't remember what it was.
I can't remember. There was something.
Oh, there was me doing like straight bar dips on the supermarket trolley, but that's not what I was talking about. There was something I did in terms of food or eating or something, and you were like, "That's disgusting," and I was like, "You're just a snob." Anyway, that's digressing.
Yes.
Yeah. There is possible you could maybe see a MotoGP rider in a supermarket. That's the point I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah. So World Superbikes is over.
Yes.
Obviously, we've touched on this. I'll try not to keep you up too long.
It's fine.
I digress. We have touched on this previously. The next year's calendar.
Oh, God.
Right.
How much of a disappointment was that?
It's so pathetic, isn't it? It's such a pathetic calendar.
Yeah. Go to Spain, was it 3 or 4 times?
4 times, I think they go to.
Yeah.
I think they're doing all of them. They're doing the Catalan, Navarra, Jerez, and
Valencia, is it?
Valencia, yeah, something like that. They're 4 times, and I think they're going, but they're only coming to the UK once.
Yeah,
like you can't go to Silverstone, Brands Hatch, Donington Park. Well, let's just do one. I think are they doing Italy twice? Mazzano,
Italy twice.
San Marino.
It annoys me though, all the Spanish rounds. That instead of just calling it a Spanish round, they're like, "Oh, it's the Catalan round," or it's the Valencian round or something like that, and it's like just call
is there not one of them that's a Spanish round and the rest of them are just I don't know, but it's all in Europe apart from the one round that's in Australia.
Yeah,
and they want to call us the World Superbikes.
It's not a World Superbike champion. It's European.
British Superbikes is going to Navarra next year, and they test in Navarra. Let's call it the European Superbikes then, because they're in Europe.
Yeah, so go to Europe once.
I said that quite weird. They're in Europe. But yeah, so why I don't get it. Well, I do get it. They're obviously struggling to get onto tracks, but why are they not going? They could go to America at least twice. You could go to Circuit of the Americas, and you could go to Laguna Seca. You can go to Argentina. You could go to Brazil. Brazil doesn't even have a MotoGP.
Yeah. And
surely
they could go to Japan and that side of the world.
Like going back, like if Brazil doesn't have a MotoGP, surely they would bite your hand off for an opportunity to have motorbikes come there.
Yeah.
Because if there's motorbike fans in Brazil, they're going to be like, well, they don't bring MotoGP here, so let's go to the World Superbikes.
Yes, and there are Brazilian riders.
Canada's got a F1, so they've obviously got a capable track. Why not go there?
Yeah.
Yeah, Japan. Like Japan's like the home of Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki. You don't go there.
Yeah,
that's very strange.
It's very strange. It's not right.
That is just a European Cup.
The thing is, it's Dorna that's doing it. It's not like they're short of money. I don't know how it works with getting overseas, but surely they can go wherever they want. Surely they can say, "Look, we're Dorna. We've got a world championship. Let us race in the country."
But then, like this year, where it's like, oh, we can't go to Argentina because for some reason, political, blah blah blah, whatever. And Dorna has basically just rubbed their hands and went, "Oh, we'll save a few bob here." Let's just keep it in Spain, shall we? Oh, yeah. La mejor, la mejor. I think that means the best in Spanish or something. My Spanish is not great. But, yeah, so it's like, yeah, come on. You've got a European Championship and you go to Australia.
Yeah.
Don't call it, like, I'm begrudgingly call it World Superbikes now.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
And you have to think about, this is like a little bit of like, you know the way I'd like to complain about the tracks and British Superbikes and how I think sometimes they're too small. And there's better tracks to go to, and that's why I'm in favour of them doing a flyaway every year.
Yes.
I know, that's slightly the point I'm going to make. If you're going to Spain 4 times and you're doing 4 different tracks, surely Spain's got one course which they have the creme de the creme. Like maybe they have a couple that can fight for it. Like we've got Donington Park or Silverstone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you're going to it 4 times, the tracks you're going to be riding on, they're not exactly going to be, like, they're going to be good enough, suitable, but they're not exactly...
They're not classics.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say Jerez and Catalonia. I'd say they're the 2, really, which are the best.
But realistically, you should be going to every country once, and at a push, maybe twice.
Yes.
At a push. Like, America's a big ass place. You could go there twice. I understand why you just want to go there once, logistically, but you could maybe go there twice. Spain, I get, it's got massive bike culture, massive motorbike racing culture. Some of the best motorbike riders in the world at the minute are Spanish, so yes, 2 rounds there. I get that. 4, it's just ridiculous, especially like 4.
And it's not special. It's not special going to Spain now because they're just there every week anyway. So it's go to somewhere like Indonesia where there's like massive fans, the market and all that. It's passion's so much bigger there.
Thailand, you could go to Thailand. Yeah. Why are they not going to these places? Why? And it seems like they're not even attempting to do it. Like, obviously behind the scenes maybe they are, but you think if they were making some effort, there would at least be 1 round in Asia, at least be 1 round in the Americas. Come on.
Or even use it as like a sort of trial for the MotoGP, like when they wanted to go to Kazakhstan and all them places. Go there first with the World Superbike, see how it gets on. They could use it as a testing ground for...
Yeah, you could do that. But can you imagine next season, like even this season to an extent, but this season at least, they've not gone to Asia this year at all. No. And they obviously end up not going to Argentina. But next year, you're in the world, inverted commas, world superbikes, and you win it, and you're holding the champion up going, yay, I'm a world champion, I guess. To me, it just seems a bit pathetic.
Yes, I agree.
Like, obviously, the racing's still good. The racers are still good. They're still challenging themselves. They're still against equally competitive riders. It's just, come on. Make a bit of effort. Get World Superbikes as a world championship. It's a European championship, and it's just... Make some effort, Dorna. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, I agree with that. So drink it. Oh, Jesus Christ! You were on the beers earlier.
No, not beers. That's plural. I had a beer.
A beer. Sorry.
Now I'm drinking my Sacred Hill Pinot Noir 2002 reserve from New Zealand. Lidl wine. I like New Zealand wine. Did I tell you I was in New Zealand and I worked in the grapevines for 8 months? Yeah. I've been around the world, you know.
No, you never mention it.
You touched on last week.
Yes.
I've not been around the whole world. Last week you're like, he's been around the world once. Well, come on, not many people go around the world at all, never mind once. And actually, there's a hell of a lot more countries I've not been to than what I have actually been to.
Yes. Yes, I've not really travelled much. I've only been out of Europe once, and that was to Qatar. Saw the MotoGP there in 2017.
In the dark?
In the dark, when Zarco nearly got his first win on his debut in MotoGP.
Yes. And then 7 years later, he did eventually get one.
Yes.
Taking all this time. Here's a random question for you, right? Because you were at that race, I'm going to use football as an example, but are you ever watching a game of football on the TV and you see it going in front of you and you think somehow that if I was there, I might have just changed the atmosphere just that tiny little bit, things might have been that little bit different and the result might have been different?
I do sometimes think that. Like, or if I didn't buy a burger or something before the game and I was 5 minutes later, I don't know. I always think, like, is it called the butterfly effect or something? Like if a butterfly flaps its wings once or something, I can't remember.
I think that's to do with time travel, but yeah, there's something like that.
Yeah, if you did something ever so slightly different.
Yeah, it's like Donnie Darko. Have you ever seen that movie? That kind of touches on it a little bit. Yeah, but scientifically it stands up. Like, if I'm there in the crowd, that means somebody else that was there's not there, and I might do something different that they didn't do, which might spark a completely different chain of reaction, which might end up resulting in my team, or Johan Zarco in that case, actually winning the race or winning the game.
Or if you got there at a different time, you affected the traffic differently, they got stuck at a red light that they wouldn't have done.
Yes.
It could have.
Oh, brilliant! I'm not the only one that thinks that.
Yeah.
Like you're watching your team getting battered, and you think, if I had been there, it might have been different. No, it wouldn't have been. You still would have got battered. You'd have just been enjoying it more because you'd been pissed. Talk about the football today. Well, Chippy, we've not had very good results.
No. Well, we lost 2-0. You drew 1-1.
I honestly thought we were going to batter Luton. Like I was like, come on, it's Luton. We're going to absolutely batter them.
I thought exactly the same about Nottingham Forest. I thought we can't stop winning at the minute. We're just going to batter them.
I think so far in 2023, you're the only other team that has won as many games as Man City. Like within 2023. Not that so. Yeah, you're doing really well. And I didn't see that coming. But I wasn't even watching the Liverpool game. I was kind of switched off by this stage because I was making dinner. The girls were here, and then my phone vibrated. It was BBC telling me, and I looked at it and I had to look at it twice because it said Diaz 95th goal, but it was one each, and I was like, we were 1-0 down. We were actually getting beat by Luton. I was like, what?
Yes.
Fucking hell. Oh, like, before we go on to our predictions, just briefly go on to this. So, as me living in this house at the minute, I am here because the dog and the cat are here, so I can't leave the dog and the cat. That's why I'm living in this house by myself, and my wife and my kids are in my in-laws, because the house it's almost at a livable standard now. I've fixed the bathroom, I think. I've fixed the washing machine and the plumbing in the kitchen, and I've had a dehumidifier in the house for the past 4 days, just running constantly. I've got it off now for the recording. It's just been running constantly, and I've got like a good 10 litres of water out of my house.
Oh my God.
My house is just 10 litres. I'm using hyperbole there. Probably about 2 litres. You know, I like to exaggerate. It's probably about 2 litres of water. But even that, 2 litres is like, Jesus, come on, 2 litres of water. Because I think the tenants that was in this house was drying clothes in the house and not opening windows when they were showering and stuff. Anyway,
Oh,
my house is a bit dumb. So, yeah. It's annoying. So I've had the dehumidifier running for 4 days constantly, and that's a big old lump of a thing to have in your landing. And but my point is, my house, tomorrow I'm going to finish the decorating of the girls' room. The dehumidifier's done its work. The house doesn't smell as bad now. There's fresh paint all over the place, so it's starting to smell nice. I've had the doors open, windows open. My dog's farting and shitting anyway, so he's making it smell a bit more homely. But for the past couple of days, my girls have been going to school because they're at school nearby, and then they've been coming to see me for a couple of hours, and then they've been going back to the grandma's house. And today, I'm a child of divorce, as I believe you are as well.
Yes,
you are as well, yeah. And it just brought it all back to me. I was like, "This is fucking horrible." Like you're coming and spending like an hour with me. You know, we're eating dinner like a family. Now, I'm not going through a divorce. That's not what's happening before we start. before my mum listens and starts putting two and two together. That's not what's happening. As just a shit situation. But it brought it all back to me. I was like, this is fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Like I'm spending a couple of hours with you, and then I cuddle you and kiss you, and you walk out and you go back to your real home. And I'm like, this is fucking horrible. And I was like, if there was ever an advert for why I don't want to get divorced, this week has been it.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Fuck this. This is shit. this is like, you kind of think, yeah, I'll get divorced and I'll live the party life. And I'm like, no, just really, really depressed. And I drank myself to sleep. So, yeah. So just to get a little bit more serious, anybody that is going through that, my heart goes out to you, seriously.
Yes.
Honestly, because it's fucking horrible. I'm not even getting divorced, but it's horrible. It just feels really, really bad. Don't like it. Can't wait to get back to normal and have my whole family.
How long do you reckon it'll be before everyone's back and you're all settled?
Well, I reckon I push tomorrow, but I'm going to finish painting the girls' room tomorrow, so I don't want them coming in and sleeping there. And I've fixed the shower. I've fixed the problem in the shower, but I still need to test it. So basically, the shower, I was taking a shower, and the water was running from the bathroom down into as we're going to use as an office.
Right.
So we could see there's a big dump patch on that wall, and then the other day I was having a shower, and we could see the water coming through the roof onto the office. But I got a plumber out, and the plumber was decent. He came out and he charged for the hour, and he came out and he says, right, mate, show me your problems. So I went round and showed him the problems, and he told me what to do. He says, go buy this, do that, do this. He says, I could do it for you, but I'll be here 3 or 4 hours and it'll cost you a fortune. So he says, I'll show you what to do, and you do it. He charged me for the hour. No, it wasn't. He still charged me fucking 150 quid the cunt to come out and do that. I was like, you could have done that over the phone. You could have done it over the phone for free. But he came out. It was good of him. He could have come out and rinsed me. He could have. But he came out. He took me around the house. He showed me all the things. Because I'm capable of doing it. I just don't know what the problems are. You know, I can fix things. I just don't know how to figure out the problem because I'm not experienced. So he went around the house. He was like, you want to do this, you want to do that. So I've done all that. So fingers crossed I've done it right. The room's been decorated. The shower's been sorted. The plumbing worked in the kitchen. I had to. So you know the white pipes behind your washing machine and all that, they were all leaking. So it was like a Lego set. I had to take them off. I had to take them all off. Take them down to Wix and buy the appropriate parts, and then put them all back together again. My kitchen units were hanging apart. I had to take them apart and build them again.
Oh, God, it sounds so stressful. I couldn't do that.
I know it was. Ash is a joiner, and he's all like, oh, I build kitchens. Let me put it this way. It's not that fucking hard to build a kitchen. I've practically taken mine apart and built it again, and I was like, fuck, I could do this. It's easy enough. People do night classes and learn how to build kitchens, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Look at me, I build kitchens. You don't even build kitchens anymore. It's fucking useless. Do any joinery work. Worst joiner ever. Almost forgot that we were supposed to be slagging off Ash. That's whole
episode. Yeah, it only just come back to me.
So it's been... It's been horrendous. Oh, my shed's fucked too. Shed's in pieces. Needed a new shed. But my problem is that I've got a fence, and then my shed, so my fence goes there, like a bird's eye view, my fence goes there, but my shed's like that. So this bit here is in next door neighbour's garden. So if I take my shed down, there's a gap into next door neighbour's garden.
Oh, God.
Now, I've already spoke to my neighbour, and he's like, it's fine, take your shed down and get a new one. And I goes, yeah, but if I take it down, it's going to be 10 days at least before I get a new one, so we'll have this hole. And it's the winter time, it's raining all the time, so I'm probably going to have to wait until the summer before I get a new shed as well. So, yeah, problems, mate. Absolute problems, I'm telling you.
You need an Ash.
Well, actually, I like doing all that stuff for myself, but...
I don't. I hate it. I can't do it. I probably could, maybe, if I really put my mind to it, but I've messed it up.
Put it this way, I've done things this week that, like, I always knew I was capable. I've worked in building sites before. I've done a bit of labouring. I was an apprentice electrician. I did about 3 years electrical work. Like, I can turn my hand to most things. Like I said, I just need to know what the problem is. But I have done things this week. I was joking when I said it's easy to build a kitchen. the amount of effing and blinding I did. But I had about 3 or 4 units that I literally had to take apart because it's like I can see the problem. Yes. I know how to fix it, I just can't get into it. So I had to take the whole fucking thing apart and rebuild it and then go into Wix and be like, have you got this sort of screw to get into this? And they're like, yeah, here's a pack of 50. And it's like, I only need 5. I'm like, oh, well, it's $4.99 for the whole pack. All right, then, cheers, I'll take that then. Now I'm left with all these screws. And I'm a man. I don't want to throw screws away. So I've got a whole toolbox full of screws that I'll never use. But, yeah, so it has been super stressful. But at the end of it, I can look back at my house. Oh, you've seen my wallpapering?
Yeah, your wallpapering's actually very good. I couldn't do that.
I've never wallpapered in my life before. That was the first time I've always avoided wallpapering because I remember watching my mum do it when I was young and I thought, that looks fucking horrendous. I'm never doing that. And then this week I realised that she was doing it all wrong. She was just completely doing it wrong. And the reason she was bad at it is because she didn't know what to do because she didn't have YouTube to tell her what to do.
Yes.
So, wallpapering is a piece of piss. So
I couldn't do it. In fact, I think I saw somebody doing it in our old house, and I'm pretty sure I just started eating the wallpaper paste because it tasted weirdly nice.
Ugh.
I was only about 8. But I got a taste for it. Yeah, I got a taste for it. I was like, I'm gonna have some more.
I think even at 8 years old, you should be old enough to understand you don't eat wallpaper paste. Fucking idiot. That's just coming from the guy that doesn't like using the knives and forks in Tesco because the builder might have eaten them. He's eating wallpaper paste.
Yes. I used to eat butter dipped in sugar and then I'd eat that. That was quite nice.
Yeah, I used to eat butter. My mum says every time she turned her back, I was in the fridge with a spoon just eating the butter out of the tub.
Do you know what I've discovered this week, actually? Well, not discovered. I saw a YouTube video of, it was Dr. Khan off the doctor's program. And he was saying about dates, how really healthy they are for you. So I bought some dates because I'd never had them before. And they are amazing.
Yeah, I can't believe you've never had a date before.
Yeah. It's really, really tasty.
That. You know the way you look at a message and you just kind of skim over it, you don't really read it. You just look at it and you pick out words and you kind of understand what they're going on. I read that and first of all I thought you were saying you'd been on a first date. And I was like, did Nicola and Chippy never go on a date before they were married? And then I properly read it. I was like, you've never had a date before?
No, I never had one.
I still do eat dates occasionally, but I went through a stage where I was practically addicted to dates.
They're so nice.
Really good. And if you're making smoothies, they're really good in smoothies too.
Because they're really sweet, but they've got a low glycemic index, which apparently is really good. So like your sugar doesn't actually spike. So if you're diabetic and you want a sweet treat, apparently dates are amazing.
No idea what you're talking about, but I'm just going to say yes. Yes, that's true. Great. Yes. And they taste nice.
Yes.
But I would say that's true. I'm not doing disagree with you. Oh yeah. But it's you know the way people say if you're on a hike or if you're out marathon running or something, you should eat jelly babies. Well, no. Take dates and cut dates up.
Yeah.
Eat little bits of dates, just the same thing.
Yes.
Have you had the ones with the seeds in it?
Yeah, that's what we've got, which is really annoying. So I've got to keep cutting them open and taking the...
No, you don't want the pipped ones.
No.
Because you fucking eat them. You just
I suppose.
And they're really, really high in calories. So, like if you look up, you're like, oh, I'm trying to keep my calories low. You eat like 4 dates and you're like, holy fuck, I've just eaten about 4 million calories. Well, but you see when they're pipped, you just smash them.
Yes. Well, I do my fitness pal, as you know, and I logged them earlier. Yes. I had 4, and it came to, bear with me, this is an interesting podcast. It came to 217 calories for 4 dates.
But 217 calories doesn't seem like a lot, but yeah, they're tiny.
Yeah.
They're not very big.
No, they're really not. But also, something else I found out about them, if you're an overdue pregnant woman, and you eat them, they induce labour. There's something in it, there's some chemical that induces labour and is used for like contractions and stuff as well. So if you're overdue labour, have a date. Well,
according to our According to our midwife, if you're an overdue pregnant woman, what really helps is cunnilingus.
Right.
Something I was going to talk about there. Whenever you were telling me about the dates and I didn't know if you were right or not, I just assume you're right. Isn't it annoying whenever you know you're right and you say something and the person you're talking to goes, yeah, I don't know. And you're like, yes, you do know because I just told you. Yeah, I don't know. And it's like, you do fucking know, I just told you. And they're basically saying, yeah, I don't think you're right. Like, you're there, you're talking about a subject that you know something, like say you're talking about motorbikes, because we know too much about motorbikes for the average normal person, and you're talking about it, and you're like, yeah, definitely, Valentino Rossi wasn't on a factory bike in 2001 when they won the 500. Yeah, I don't know, mate, yeah, I don't know, and it's like, it's true, you do know, because I've just told you, yeah, I don't know, mate, yeah. Like, fuck, I'm right, and you want to scream at them, I know, but then you're just being childish.
Yes.
Should we do our predictions?
Shall we? Well, the thing with this is I did my predictions. Well, I did them, but I didn't write them down, so I had to do them again earlier. And I couldn't be bothered going through last week's podcast to try and find what I'd said, so I've gone with what I think I would have said.
Okay.
And hoping I'm right.
Well, I've completely went.
This is good. I
went completely off topic. Or not off topic, mine. I just went all balls out in mine. So next week is Sepang, and as we know at Sepang, there's a little bit of a. We're back on the bike talk here again. So, as we know at Sepang, there's a little bit of an anomaly because there is a wild card there. Ooh,
something we forgot to mention last week.
Yes, something you forgot to mention last week, which I didn't bring up in my feedback because I'm mentioning it now. Ooh,
yes.
Yeah. So, Chippy, put us out of our misery. Who's at Sepang next week?
Alvaro Bautista is wildcarding on the factory Ducati.
And whilst you were doing your predictions last week, you were just like, oh, let's talk about Sepang and our predictions. And not once, I'm not saying you have to put him down as who you think is going to win, but not one time did you say, oh, and there was World Superbikes on last week as well. Not one time did you go, oh, yeah, Alvaro Bautista's racing in Sepang next week. That's an interesting topic to talk about. You're just too busy going, oh, Sam didn't turn up because he's a dick. The fucking dickhead.
Yes, we were.
How dare he have a life?
I'll tell you what, though, this is going to be a Ducati-dominated weekend, I think, because it's just those two massive straights. Although Moto3 will be good, with the slipstreams down them straights. It's going to be someone like Josh Watley coming from 20th to take the lead. God, it's going to be good. It's going to be so good.
Sometimes in Moto3, though, like, if somebody can manage to just break away ever so slightly in Moto3, straight or not, you can't, like, if their bike's just a little bit faster, I don't know. It will be good, I think so.
Anyway, the predictions.
Yes.
So the MotoGP sprint.
Well, you just went through it last week, so it should probably be the same if you listened to last week's episode. The only difference is I'm going to give my predictions as well.
Yes, and mine might be the same. They might not be.
Right.
Yeah.
It'd be good to go back and listen to both of them as a comparison.
Yeah.
I've listened to it twice now, and I listened to last week's episode twice, and I still couldn't tell you who you picked.
No, I'm going to have to listen back and see how...
How do we expect our listeners to care when we don't give a fuck? Right, I'm going to go first.
Yes.
I've gone all out on the sprint. I've just gone Billy Big Bollocks. I'm like, fuck it. Bautista's going to win.
And I really want him to.
He's just going to come out and he's going to throw his little tiny, thin, 15 kilo, too light golden balls to the wall. Yeah, I saw him in these little golden leathers.
I hope he turns up in them golden leathers.
Imagine he did. I'm a champion. I shouldn't do an accent. He should turn up and they'll be like, I'm a world champion, and all the MotoGP riders will be like, you're barely a European champion. Wise up. Welcome to Asia, by the way. We like to race here every now and again.
Yes. Well, I went with Pecco Bagnaia.
And Ash went with Jorge Martin.
Yes.
MotoGP race, because I don't think Batista's going to win it, and the rest were picked, so I went with Bezzecchi, because like you said, it's probably going to be a Ducati dominant, so I just went with the next Ducati rider.
I went with Bagnaia again.
And Ash went with Jorge Martin again.
Yes. We just seem to pick the favourites.
I would love it if Batista won.
I would as well. Every week in World Supers, I want him to, but not come off. I want him to have a technical problem and not finish.
I was listening to another motorcycle podcast the other day because it was decorating. And if you listen to one podcast and you come to the end of that podcast, Spotify just picks another podcast for you to listen to based on what you normally listen to.
Right.
And it brought on this motorcycle podcast, and I listened to it the whole way through. And one of the commentators, one of the hosts, I should say, one of the hosts basically said, World Superbikes riders aren't as talented as MotoGP riders. And then they spent the next 10 minutes trying to dig themselves out of a hole. And I was like, no, fucking throw yourself in that grenade. I'll throw myself in that grenade. World Superbike riders are not as good as MotoGP riders. They're not. And I think Batista will struggle as much as I says he's going to win.
Yes. I think he'll struggle. But I think
if he's going to win anything, it'll be the sprint, I think, because it's quick.
I still think he's going to finish ahead of Gian Antonio, though.
Yeah, but is he on a factory spec bike?
I think so. Yeah.
Like, they're not going to send him. They're not going to send him in there like, yesterday's news. Could you imagine? Imagine Marc Marquez went to World Superbikes.
I don't know how he'd get on.
I think he could beat him in the lawnmower, to be honest.
No, I think he'd struggle, because I sometimes think about what he'd do if he came to British Superbikes. But then I think Scott Redding came over and just dominated it in his first season.
I can't wait to see Iannone. That's how the discussion in the other podcast came up. They were talking about Iannone and how, just because he did okay in MotoGP. Right. Predictions Moto2. You can go first this time.
I've gone, although he's yet to win a race, Aaron Canet.
Yeah, he's only got 3 chances left. He's not moving to MotoGP, is he?
No, he's there next year. He's staying in
Moto2. So he's got next year as well. But I honestly can't see him winning a race this year. I don't think he will.
I hope he does. I quite like the guy.
He's not even close to a title contender now, though.
No, I thought he'd have a better year than he had.
Like, you're still picking him as if he's up there fighting week in, week out. He's not. He's barely even mentioned now. In fact, Moto2 is boring, and it has been boring for the past couple of weeks.
It's not
because
great.
Pedro Costa is so far ahead. Because Arbolino fell off the ball a bit. Pedro Costa is so far ahead and is dominating so much that he doesn't even have to try anymore. He just has to come out and be consistent.
Yeah.
So there's no
He needs like 4 points to win the championship or something.
Something like that. There's just no jeopardy in it. It's too like World Superbikes. There's just no jeopardy in the fact that it's obvious. So Ash gone for Pedro Costa. I'm just going to pick the easy option. Yes, I have gone for Firmino Aldeguer because he has started to pull it out of the bag past couple of weeks, and because I couldn't think of anyone else. Right, so I thought maybe Jack Dixon, but ban him. Last week, Jack Dixon, you were mentioning about his little accident that he had.
Yeah, when just rode into the side of was it Vietti?
Yes.
Ban him. Dangerous.
Do you think did he walk back to his trailer or and just think, huh? Yeah. Oh shit.
Yes.
Did Vietti come off straight away?
No, I think it was the next corner. Which, I don't know if he got tangled with someone else or whether Jake Dixon kind of put him off.
Because I seen the results and it says they both came off in the same lap.
Yeah.
And then I seen that happening and I had to watch it back again. And I was like, but Vietti never come off.
No, I'm pretty sure it was like the next corner or the corner after.
But you would think that was maybe on his mind, the fact that
possibly
Jake Dixon just tried to use him as a brake.
Gran Turismo.
I love how we just coined this Gran Turismo pass. This is a thing now. I'd love it to just go viral and everybody being like, oh, Gran Turismo pass, I wonder who came up with that. And even though we didn't come up with it, we just used it. Moto 3.
Moto 3. Now, I was going to pick your prediction. I wish I had now. In fact, I probably did last week.
Well, I don't know. But you didn't this week. So why did you delete it off the dog?
I never put it on there in the first place.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I went for David Alonso.
It's a good shout. I wish I went with him. But instead I went with Jaume Masia.
And Ash went for Sasaki again.
Has he won a race yet this year?
No.
Oh.
He's been close, but he keeps getting pipped at the post.
Mm.
And I think he's out of the championship now because he a few rounds ago, was it India or Indonesia? I'm not entirely sure. But he crashed in the warm-up lap or something, and then he stalled on the grid, and then he was basically last, and he managed to get himself up to like 1 or 2 points or something like that.
Yeah, I think.
And then he crashed.
Sorry, I was just saying.
And then the week or 2 weeks after that, he crashed. So I think he's out of the championship now.
Well, I think the start of last week he was 4 points behind Masia. Or something like that. It was very close, but then he crashed out, and now it's like...
But he crashed.
20 odd, because I'm pretty sure Masia won. No, Masia finished fourth, but he still gained a lot of points on him.
Well, David Alonso's in fourth, and he's 25 points behind.
Yeah. I'd love Alonso to win it. But I want Masia to win this year.
No, I want Alonso to win. I'm straight on that hype train. Yeah, last week, listening to the podcast last week, and you were like, at the same time, in the same breath, basically, Ash was going, oh, Sam's not even put his predictions down. Oh, he's so shit. He's not put his predictions down. Chippy, who have you predicted? And you're like, I've not put mine down yet. And I was like, fuck off, Ash. You don't do the predictions until the following week.
Yeah, no, it should have been this week we did the predictions.
Yes, should have been. But you just fold it. Like
I wasn't the host. I wasn't the host.
Right. Here's a question that you posed a few weeks ago that we never got round to asking.
Right.
But I don't want to ask it because you weren't here and it was your question.
I can't remember.
You were asking. Maybe I've put you in the spot. If
you have, because I haven't thought of a question, the answer to it.
I'll just edit it out then. But I'll ask you anyway, in case you do have it. You were asking if there's anything in motorcycle racing that we would like to change.
Yes. I would change this whole buying a seat thing. I don't like how people who have the money get the good rides. Or like in Moto 2, is it Moto 2? No, not Moto 2. Like World Supersport, something like that. If a lot of riders have to buy the rides. And it's like stupid
they do that.
money.
I think there's a lot of championships do that. I don't think it's just Moto 2.
Yeah.
I think by the time you get to Moto GP, I would like to think that you've proved yourself to get there. But even in Moto 2, it seems ridiculous that in the level of Moto 2, a world championship, like arguably one of the best motorcycle racing championships in the world, that you're still in a position where you have to pay hundreds of thousands of pounds to take part.
I think it's
stupid. Before you make any money.
I'd get rid of that, or at least reduce the cost. Have like a limit that you have to pay.
Here's us talking about how we want some rich Saudi Arabian to come and invest money into the British superbikes, and you've got the likes of Jake Dixon and that who are paying thousands just to ride in Moto 2.
Yes. Yeah, it's not right. That's what I'd change personally, or have a limit or something. What would you change?
It's never going to change them. I would like... this will never happen because it's for cost and competitiveness and stuff. But I would like to go back, or at least I liked it when riders could pick different rubber and different tyres.
Yeah.
Because now it's all just... Like, recently, I think it was last week or the week before... I say last week, I mean last round of MotoGP or the round before that, where it was like, oh, this is Michelin's 500th race Grand Prix win. Yay, Michelin are great. And it's like, but they've been the only tyre manufacturer for like the past 10 years or something. Of course they're going to get that, that mantle. But that aside, I just think that, riders, racers, teams nowadays are like, oh, well, what did you do? Well, I changed the setting. I went for a medium front or, a hard rear, or I changed my suspension. But it threw so much more into the mix when it was like, what did you go with? Well, I went with a hard Michelin tyre, or I went with a soft Pirelli tyre, or I went with a medium Bridgestone tyre, or, I picked Bridgestone's medium front, hard rear, blah blah blah, and somebody else was on a Michelin. It just adds that word I'm going to use again. Just adds more jeopardy to the whole race. Now I understand why they have one tire manufacturer. It cuts costs. It makes the racing more exciting because one rider can't pick the right tire and just run away with the race. So I understand why it is, but it would be good.
I'd like to see it. I think flood the championship with tyres, have everybody there, like Pirelli, Michelin, Bridgestones, everybody, and give them loads of tyres to choose from. I think it'd be brilliant. And then it's
but then the problem that is, what do you do with the tyres if they don't use them?
Wow,
I think that's the problem, because it's sustainability and it's waste and.
I know, but it'd be so much better. I used to like it in Formula 1.
But fuck the planet. We just want really good motorbike racing.
Yeah, and when I used to watch Formula 1, it was like Pirelli and Michelin. It adds like essentially another championship. Then you got a tyre championship.
But I think let's say Bridgestone also go there, or Pirelli and Michelin, because that's the two big ones that are in the championship. So you got, or Dunlop's there as well. Dunlop, do they do Moto2?
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, let's say 2-3 tyre manufacturers are there. If they're all competing to get their tyres used and they don't use the tyres, they're not just going to be like, oh, that's it, throw them in the bin, burn them. They're going to put them in for like wholesale.
Yeah, they'll sell them.
Well, no, there's not another word after that sentence. They're going to put them up for wholesale. Oh, stop. I was like, there's another word hanging there. No, they're going to put them up for wholesale. So it'll be like, we'll sell them to clubman riders, or give them to World Superbikes, or it could be like MotoGP. Oh, the MotoGP riders didn't use this. Well, it's got a shelf life of so many years, and it's built for this track, so bring it down to World Superbikes. World Superbikes are like, oh, they didn't use this tyre. It'll have a tyre manufacturer number on it. And it'll be like, all right, we'll take it down to clubman level, or British Superbikes, or Australian Superbikes, and then bring it down. And then eventually it'll just go into not a warehouse, just go into a store somewhere. But like, oh, do you want to buy this Bridgestone tyre? Oh yeah, cool. I'll buy that for whenever I'm going around doing my track days.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to waste it.
Yeah. Exactly. Fill the championships with different tyre manufacturers. Give them just too much choice, and it'll add so much more excitement, I think.
Yes. A friend of mine, his dad used to work for Michelin, making tyres, and he said that Michelin tyres, they need to have an actual certain tread pattern to them to be a Michelin tyre, but sometimes people would mess it up. They'd be like, oh, fuck, I messed up the tread. I treaded it wrong, but it's still a legal tyre. The tread depth is still fine. It's just the wrong design, so Michelin can't sell it. So they used to sell it to the employees for like a fraction of the price, but they were genuinely legal tyres. You could drive them on the road. They just weren't the right tread for Michelin. Ooh, it's a wrong tread. Somebody might see that and be like, ooh, Michelin are shit. Who the fuck cares? But anyway, used to get cheap tyres. So my point is, bring more tyres into the MotoGP and World Superbikes, or European Superbikes, I mean.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. I like that.
And stop making riders have to pay so much money just to race. Come on.
Because
sure, they must...
Is it Andrea Mino?
Must be making money hand over fist.
Yeah. Andrea Mino this year, I think he was out of a ride because he couldn't afford it. He hadn't got enough money for a decent ride. But he's still a class rider. In Moto3, he'd have been top 10. Basically,
the team, I would say the team was struggling a little bit.
Mm.
And they're like, oh, we're struggling a bit, and there's a rider who's not as good as you, but he's really, really wealthy, and he's going to give it. They're going to give us lots of money. So you are going to have to leave. Can I take these old tires? Nope. No. You gotta keep them tires here. There are tires.
Yeah.
We can't afford more tyres. Dunlop won't give us so many tyres. I don't know. Does Dunlop do Moto3?
I think they do. Moto3. I think it's Dunlop's Moto2 and Moto3.
Pirelli does MotoGP.
I think... I can't remember.
No, Michelin do it at the minute, but is Pirelli doing it who's changing tyres next year? Somebody's changing tyres next year.
They are. I think Moto2 Moto3's changing, but I can't remember
Pirelli.
What to. It was in the news quite a few weeks ago.
I think they're changing to Pirelli. I think they're going from Dunlop to Pirelli tyres.
Right. I can't remember. Or was it British Superbikes? Was British Talent Cup getting the same as Moto3 because then it makes it more in line with what... I can't remember.
Guy.
I am, but it was a long time ago.
Right, well, on that, I was pretty sound like Jeremy Clarkson there and just say
on that bombshell.
Bombshell. I guess we're going to have to bring the episode to an end because we've been going nearly 2 hours. Can you believe, Chippy, that me and you was waffled for 2 hours?
I actually can't believe that. And that's flown by as well. And it's only 10:15.
I'm going to be honest, this has gone by really, really quickly.
Considering there's no racing at all.
I was on the group chat the other day and I was like, we're going to record because we should record every week. And you're like, there's no racing, there's nothing to talk about. And I was like, how many times do you have to be told? We don't need anything to talk about. We just talk. It's a fucking podcast. People just come on literally to listen to us talking.
Just listen about to the anything. BS.
It's like, I like motorbikes, these guys like motorbikes, but I just want to listen to them talk.
Yeah.
That's what we're aiming for. If you have listen to us talking, don't just listen to us. Please get involved. You can see a segue that in there. You can talk to us by sending us an email. You can go on your phone right now. If you're walking your dog, obviously I don't like texting with one hand, so do that thing where you put your dog lead around your wrist and you hold your phone and then you shout at your dog, even though it's not your dog's fault. Maybe it's just me that does that. Anyway, get your email and send us an email at podcast@bigbadbs.co.uk. Tell us anything you want. Something about the episode. Correct us on anything we got wrong. Let us know who uses what tyres.
The who am I.
Ask us, the who am I. Yes, the who am I. If you know who that was, go back and listen to it. Or just anything random at all. That's fine. YouTube. If you're watching this on Spotify, go to our YouTube because there's a couple of videos on there you might like as well. So just basically go to YouTube and type in the Big Bad Bike Show. And if it's not three dudes talking about motorbikes, you're on the wrong page. We've got Twitter, which is at the Big Bad BS. I've not been on there this past couple of weeks because I've been moving house, so forgive me, but I will be back on there. Tickety-boo, doing all that stuff. Instagram, nobody uses it. We don't use it. Don't go on it, but you can if you want. But there's nothing on there. So if you go to Facebook, we've got 2 Facebook opportunities. We've got the Facebook page, which is the Big Bad Bike Show, and we've got a Facebook group, which is the Big Bad BS. To be honest, the group's probably the one that gets the more traffic. So either Facebook group, Big Bad BS, or our Twitter page, the Big Bad BS. You can contact me. I'm at the Big Bad Biker on Instagram. Chippy's on Instagram. He's at Moto Chippy. He thinks that sounds cool. And Ash is on Instagram, which is the Up North Biker. but it's only pictures and videos of his dog. That's all that's on there. Worse than Chippy.
Yes.
Right. That's us. That's it.
That was, yeah. That's
I
it.
think Chippy and I could probably waffle on for another
We probably
half hour
could.
at least. I'm talking absolute shit. But eventually, we have to bring it to an end. We
Yeah.
have to stop.
We'll be back
We've got to
next
go to
week.
bed. We will be back next week. And we'll be the first round into our last triple header. And we'll be one step closer to knowing who's going to be the MotoGP champion. I can't wait. These next 3 weeks, I am revving up for them. Pun intended. I'm revving up for the next 3 weeks. It's going to be good. Who do you want to win the championship, Chippy?
I'm undecided because I want Bagnaia. MotoGP needs a rider that's a man to beat. So really, if Bagnaia won the championship, he'd be the man to beat. So I think probably for MotoGP him, but at the same time, I prefer Jorge Martin. So I'm undecided.
Yeah. I am Jorge Martin all the way. I want Jorge Martin to win it. I'm different from you. You think they want him. I think it looks better for the championship if they keep. I think it looks more competitive if it's a new rider.
Yes. I don't
And then
know.
Marquez will come up and win it in 2024.
Yes. Oh, that'd be incredible if he did. I'd love that.
Right, well that's for next week.
That's
keep
for
that
next week, yes.
We're never going to shut up. Right, so we've nothing else to do but give our goodbyes. So, Moto Chippy, Chris Chippy Ballard, whatever you want to be called. Or how was it you did it last week? Goodbye Chippy. I don't know what you did last week. You said something.
I just can't remember. I thought I just went goodbye.
Anyway, say goodbye. You already said it.
Goodbye.
And it's a goodbye from me. This has been the Big Bad Bike Show. Thank you very much for your attention. Goodbye.